toit supérieur. Redressez le dossier de vos fauteuils ou tablettes et Welcome to Paris. Local time 9:45 a.m. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened, your cabin baggage stowed until the aircraft comes to a final stop in front of the terminal and the seatbelt sign has been switched off. Air Canada flight 872 ends here. Please take all your personal belongings with you when leaving the aircraft. If you require assistance deplaning, remain seated with one glad to help you as soon as the aisles are free. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome to Paris. We wish you a very nice day and thank you for choosing Air Canada, all our Star Alliance partners. Nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue à Paris, où il est présentement 9h45 heure locale. Restez assis.
Made it. First time overseas. Have a good one, thanks. Thanks. Have a good one. Baggage is downstairs. Okay, got through customs. Got my France stamp. Good to go. Baggage is now upstairs. Got my bags, or my bag, check bag. So now it's time to head out, I guess. Exit this way. I was feeling it at one point on the plane, but then once they said welcome to Paris or something like that, I got a little bit of a burst of energy, I think. Okay, now see if there's any shuttles. We out here? Alright, so naturally we got Mr. Ratatouille.
Is parking PX. Please make sure you take all your belongings.
下一站 PX 停车场站，请带好您的随身行李。Assurez-vous de ne pas oublier vos bagages.
The next station is Terminal 3, Roissy-Paul. A light here for trains to Paris and the bus station. Please make sure you take all your belongings.
下一站3号航站楼Roissy-Paul.
This is 3, okay. How are you doing, guys?
For unusual situation by phone 17 or 112. Paris Airport thanks you for your attention.
Airport shuttle train. Here we go. That's what I want. We just appreciate the beauty of this train station for a second. I mean, it's a little bit, is the term brutalist? There's a lot of concrete and stuff, but the shape is kind of cool. So I guess I'm the only one in the shuttle. Not super duper busy for an airport shuttle like this, but it is what it is. Olympus Budget Rossi. You guys a fan of liminal spaces? Wait a minute. Did I already pass it? What is this? 340. I think I already passed it. Okay. And here we are. Efficient little room. What we at here? I just need the air conditioning going. That's what I need. It's a little bit surprising with this hotel. It just lets you open the giant window that you could fall out of. But anyway, the airport is over there, I believe. We in Paris. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so now that I'm at the hotel, I'm probably just gonna... I'm like sweaty and stuff from the trip. So I'm just gonna like probably take a cool shower or whatever. I don't know if this room has air conditioning. It's rough, but no, it's alright. I turned the heater on thinking that it was air conditioning. Found out pretty quick, not so much. Yeah, I don't know if this room has air conditioning, but anyway. Right, we in France. There seems to be lots of pretty good smells. Whether it's like a... You get like a whiff of some sort of perfume, I think, but then otherwise it's just the smell of like green. Just this little nook of a road here. It's like a semi-unkempt sidewalk. So some kid just yelled out of a car at me. I don't know what he was yelling, but I'm also listening to Minecraft music as I go. So this is what the mall looks like on the inside. It's kind of packed in here. It's kind of bustling. There's such a thing as original French tacos. Okay, so that's a bit of a, what's probably a good word is maybe a bit of an annoyance or a frustration, is that I was recording this and then at some point my mic died, or maybe I was holding it in such a way where I turned it off, talking about a different mic that's over there right now. But anyway, so I'm going to recap, or I'm going to redo my little story or summary of things. So anyway, this trip was probably one of the more on a whim trips that I've done. That's not, it's only true in the sense of the scale of the trip and then given how soon it was acted upon. But there's other trips that were probably more on a whim, like within like 2 weeks. Like I think there might have been another trip that was like within like a 2 or 3 week period that I basically was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go and do this thing. But pertaining to this, like, because that trip was only in North America, whereas this trip is overseas. My first trip overseas, actually, and it's to France of all places. And so essentially, I think I booked the time off work from my day job probably a month or so in advance, and I think I did all of the flight/hotel bookings somewhere between a month in advance to 3 weeks in advance or something roughly around that time frame. I could be a little bit off there. But anyway, and so now I'm here, and I'm at an airport hotel. I'm only here for a night, because tomorrow I'm going to go into Deauville, is possibly how you pronounce it. That's the place where, as far as I understand, Delta Airlines and the Best Defense Foundation, or whatever it's called, is flying in the veterans, right, from America. So I believe it's a charter flight from Georgia to Deauville, and then they get like a day's rest or something like that after they get in, and then there's events up until the 9th is the last event, which I don't even know if you could gain access to as just a regular member of the public, because it's like a dinner of some sort. But I'm going to try to catch the veterans and follow them around and stuff. Try to meet them, shake some hands, say some thank yous, because that portion of living history is dying off and not going to be around much longer. They're all probably roughly around 100+ years old. So no pressure there, and But yeah, and it's good to be here. I guess in a way it feels maybe a little bit similar and a little bit different than other places. It's definitely got a vibe of green. Like there's a good amount of trees and stuff. There's some things that might feel a little bit reminiscent of Florida. It's definitely got a little bit of that Florida humidity kind of feeling, although probably not quite as intense. But this room I also don't think has air conditioning, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I could be wrong on that, but anyway. So I'm going to take the train, or however I'm going to get to the train from here, probably Uber or something, or bus or whatever, to the train station. Or however I'm going to get to the bus station. But anyway, however I'm going to get to the train station. However I'm going to get to the train station, I'm then going to take a train to Deauville. I'm going to try to catch the veterans, then I'm going to stay in Deauville for a night. There's a place that was near that airport for, I think, a pretty good price, pretty reasonable considering it was only for one night. And it has a pool and stuff, and the room seems good, I think, hopefully. So gonna set up shop there, and then the next day gonna go take the train over to. So the train's probably gonna go through the city of, is it pronounced Caen, and then through the town of Bayeux, and then I'm gonna go over to Gold Beach Hotel or whatever it's called, Gold Beach Resort, and that's where I'll be staying. I don't know if it's like a 5-minute walk from the beach, but it as far as I remember, it seems pretty close. So I'm going to go there, or I'm going to stay there, and that's where I'll stay probably for about, is it 9 nights? And then after that, after everything's all said and done here, then I would go back to Paris, stay again at, I believe, this hotel, and then fly out the next day, I believe. So there's like maybe 36 hours at the end of the trip in Paris, something roughly, maybe around that time frame. And so beyond that, something I will say as well is that so I'm using my GH5 now, which is what I'm filming on here, but earlier I was using this. That's why the footage that's why the footage doesn't look as good. This is not quite as crisp and as good or as modern, or at least I don't think it's as modern, in the sense that I don't know when this came out, but it's not as good quality as this camera that I'm filming on right now. But just in terms of the form factor and the ease of use, like just being able to flip open the screen, press the record button within like roughly 2 seconds and just start filming. And just having that small form factor, having it on the little tripod that I'm filming on right now, it just was, I think, a bit more preferable than trying to use the kind of bulky GH5 and maneuver that or whatever. Just, when you're going through airports and you're on the planes and stuff like that, it's just, and also this looks more expensive, so people might be more likely to try to steal it if I'm using this as opposed to if I'm using this. But I don't know if necessarily somebody would try to steal it, but I'm just saying this looks more cheap and less impressive to even consider stealing than something like this probably. I bought it like this. There's a hole in the bottom, so that's probably what made the price better This was like roughly 150 Canadian. I don't know if that's including shipping or tax or anything, but anyway, I put some duct tape over the bottom, which covered up the hole, and then I Gorilla Glued a Arca Swiss quick release plate to the bottom, and you know, that held on. For the most part, it was just the duct tape holding on with a little bit of Gorilla Glue up at the front here, I believe. But when I was walking around the airport, so I had this with its base plate on the tripod, it just like fell off, and it like hit the ground and like bounced a little bit. And what I will say is, it's like, this thing is pretty good for the rough and tumble, like it's pretty hardy. Like it doesn't seem to have any noticeable additional damage beyond, like, I don't think I made this worse. Hopefully I didn't make this worse. It was probably, it probably hasn't changed much, hopefully. But in terms of any other places, I don't know if there's anything that sticks out as super noticeable. Now that I'm here in the hotel, going over to the GH5, get more of the quality video, I'll probably be using this for any of the like more quality video shots as the trip progresses, because like if I'm going to be filming, like especially the veterans events and stuff, I would rather use something like this. Now this might get used a little bit, but it's probably going to just be for more of the quick stuff, or when I kind of want the camera I'm using to not be like too obvious or whatever. And so yeah, and I had an overnight flight to Paris. I didn't sleep on it, so I've been up for probably like, I've been up since like 10, when did I get off the couch in Canada? It would have been probably around somewhere between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m., something like that. So I've been up for like 24 hours, or a little more than 24 hours, but I'm going to probably go to bed maybe around like 6 p.m. I'm probably going to go get something to eat at maybe like whatever. I think there's a McDonald's nearby. I'm probably going to go there. And if worse comes to worse, I could order Uber Eats or something, or maybe I'll check and see what's downstairs if there's anything here. But I'm probably going to get something to eat, go to bed quite early, get up hopefully early, and go about the trip. This is going to be mainly like a Normandy centered trip. It's not really going to have much else when it comes to touring the rest of Paris, or touring the rest of France, or Paris specifically. I might get some Paris traveling in, but that would probably be at the end of the trip, and even then I'd be a little bit hesitant, because it's like, I just really care about making my flights, and so I kind of don't want to do anything to jeopardize or potentially risk jeopardizing that, just with like getting the travel and stuff worked out, because like I am not renting a car. And I just want things to go well, because there wouldn't necessarily be, like, I don't want to have to unnecessarily risk having to purchase another flight ticket, because I'd probably have to borrow money from my parents to be able to, or from my mom to even be able to afford said flight ticket. Yeah, so anyway, it would not be a good time to miss a flight, so I kind of just, I'm hesitant and wary of doing anything too adventurous when you can't afford the consequences if you were to miss a flight for some whatever reason or whatever. But anyway, so that's maybe a bit of the summary. Oh, another thing that I'm going to retell this story, because the audio might have cut out when I did my first attempt at doing this. But anyway, I did a very Canadian thing on the plane over. So you know Murphy's Law, which, if I understand it correctly, Murphy's Law is whatever can happen will happen. I could be wrong on exactly what Murphy's Law is / means, but anyway, when I was on the plane, there was a point where I was going to take out my laptop to do some work, but long story short, the battery had like barely anything in it. It like locked on me, like shut down, locked, whatever, and then I turned it back on, and then the battery was like just a little itty bitty bit of battery left. So anyway, I tried to plug it in on the plane, but I guess there wasn't enough juice coming out of the outlet to be able to power the laptop, because it wouldn't charge off that outlet, I as far as I understand. So anyway, later on, I think this is when I was putting my laptop away. I could be wrong. Maybe it was when I was taking it out, but I think it's when I was putting it away. Pretty sure. I put it in the aisle lane, even though it's an overseas plane, the seating, at least where I was in the pleb class, the seating where I was in the economy section of the plane, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, was kind of cramped. So not a whole lot of space. So I mean, I probably could have put the laptop elsewhere, but anyway, long story short, I put it in the aisle. And you know how, this is where the Murphy's Law comes in. There was probably nobody walking by my seat for about, 5, 10, 20 minutes, however long it was. Like a decent amount of time where it felt like it was not a lot of people coming and going, walking by my seat. So anyway, I put my laptop in the aisle just to kind of, put it down to maybe pack something else in my bag, whatever I was doing. And the guy that got up that was sitting across from me just around this time, within probably 2 minutes of me putting my laptop there, something like that, not a super long amount of time, I don't think anyway, he decided to come back to his seat, and his I think his right foot stepped pretty much directly on my laptop. And then I don't know if he quite knew, he might not have known immediately what happened, but I think he kind of figured it out, and he took his foot off. And then this is where the very Canadian thing that I did comes in here. I apologized after he stepped on my laptop. So, however I said it, he steps on my laptop, and then I'm like, oh, sorry about that, or something like that. So, very Canadian to apologize when somebody else steps on your laptop. But anyway, that's what I did, roughly. So, it's kind of funny. But anyway, beyond that, we are in Paris. And so, but not for much longer. Going to Normandy tomorrow, because I think Deauville is part of Normandy, I think. So anyway, going to leave that there. Going to stop my rambling. Probably going to go get something to eat now, and then go to bed early at some point later today. Alrighty, we will see you in the next part of this.